On all issues, there will always be a religious voice. Abortion, which is the termination of a pregnancy before the baby is able to live outside a woman's womb, usually for 6 months, is definitely no exception.
As a Catholic, specifically as a former seminarian, I believe that it's only God that creates and should take away life.
Ironically, according to the pro-choice or those for abortion, people such as Francis and most moralists are the ones who are in fact against contraception and sex education. In fact, according to the 2006 Uganda Demographic and Health Survey, UDHS, until the mid-90s, family planning methods in Uganda were restricted to married women only with the permission of their husbands. In the 2001 UDHS, 2 out of every 5 pregnancies were unplanned for in the country. Another study in 2003 revealed that 1 out of every 5 pregnancies ended in an abortion. Unsafe abortions at that. And now it takes global reproductive rights activists, the Center for Reproductive Rights, to remind Ugandans that actually the law, despite being unclear, in fact favors abortion in certain circumstances.
There is room for safe abortion services.
Indeed, morals and religion aside, there are guidelines under which a woman can terminate a pregnancy as stipulated in the Penal Code Act 22, Section 2. These include severe maternal illness threatening the life of a pregnant woman like cardiac and renal diseases, preeclampsia and eclampsia, conditions of high blood pressure which can even put a woman in a coma, cervical cancer, HIV-positive women who make the request for termination, rape, incest and defilement. The last 3, however, are sometimes hard to prove, a gap which legal advocates think should be sealed.
And what the government of Ethiopia has done, for instance, is to take the word of the woman.
According to the World Health Organization, 21,600,000 women experience unsafe abortions worldwide each year, with 18,500,000 occurring in developing countries. East Africa is the leading, with 38 of every 1,000 women aborting. In Uganda, 54 of every 1,000 women abort, and annually 297,000 terminate their pregnancies. According to Sylvia Namabide-Sinabulia, the MP Mityana district, also the chairperson Education and Sports Committee, Parliament of Uganda, Parliament is now more open to talk about abortion despite there being no bill as yet.
We cannot continue to bury our heads in the sand and act as if it's not happening. The desperate women use crude methods.
They have used bed springs, they have drunk an overdose of corrosives, detergents, jik, to try and kill the babies.
And this the mothers do, knowing that they too could die. Uganda's Ministry of Health, however, had aired the guidelines of safe abortion by WHO in the regional referral hospitals, Mulago down to Health Center 3s.
We have now trained our health workers how to manage abortion cases. We call it post-abortion care.
It means you are acknowledging the fact that abortion is taking place.
Many unfortunate women do not even get to the stage of accessing the post-abortion services. In shame and fear, they hide their complications and die, ending up as statistics.
In Uganda, abortion contributes up to around between 20 and 30% of maternal mortality.
This translates to about 1,500 women dying per year, most from unsafe abortions.
What kills is usually bleeding or infections. If it is due to induced abortion, use of instruments can be perforation of the uterus. They come when it is late. Instead of repair, we do hysterectomy. The hysterectomy is just removing the whole uterus.
At the fertility-infertility clinic where Dr. Kigundu works, 6 out of every 10 women who come seeking for children have carried out an abortion.
Some countries have legalized abortion to the full extent, as long as the pregnancy is less than 12 weeks. When it's still blood and cells, of course this is a very controversial issue, but some countries like South Africa, like Tunisia, evidence shows maternal mortality has gone down.
In Uganda, most women only know that it is illegal and unethical to terminate a pregnancy.
You may even find a woman who's going through a miscarriage, wondering whether she should actually go to hospital for assistance because of the fear of what will people say.
Proponents argue that a pregnant woman will resort to unsafe illegal abortion in the face of no legal option.
Uganda made some reservations to the Maputo Protocol. They didn't sign it wholeheartedly because there's some provisions that allows countries to provide safe abortion services.
It is apparent that lawmakers will not ever be ready to support legal abortion services in the country. But the misconception that most people are having is that, especially those who are against abortion, they say that the women want to use as a form of family planning, which is not the case, according to those who are pro-abortion.
We have methods to prevent unwanted pregnancies. In case there was rape, we also have an emergency contraceptive.
Society is cautioned to desist from taking a judgmental attitude, but be objective and focus on empowering the women, especially by championing the use of family planning. After all, a woman who is not pregnant cannot abort.
I don't think there's a woman who decides that let me go and conceive and terminate a pregnancy.
According to the supporters of safe abortion, it is irrefutable that the time to legalize safe abortion services without punishing the women and health workers involved is now, especially if maternal deaths are to be reduced. Florence Nalimba, NTV.